Hi, I'm Hans-Wilhelm. The material for my videos on spirituality come mostly from the stunning prophecies, teachings, revelations and books by Gabriele. Today I want to tell you more about Gabriele, how I met her and why her prophecies for the world of today are so very, very important. Ever since I was a young man, I had been on an intense spiritual quest, studying numerous paths in search of answers to the great questions: where do we come from, why are we here, and where are we going? It was in 1981 that I first heard about a spiritual path that transcended anything I had encountered before. I was deeply moved by the depth, truth, clarity, profound wisdom, logic and love within these straightforward teachings. This extraordinary inner path to freedom came through Gabriele, a woman in Germany whom many lovingly called Gabi. Gabriele was born in 1933 in southern Germany and grew up in an average Catholic family like countless others, as she describes in her autobiography. She was a shy girl who had to endure the difficult years of the Second World War. As a young woman, Gabriele loved sports and reading novels, but she had no interest in scientific, religious or esoteric books. After her marriage, she and her husband moved to Würzburg. The sudden and unexpected death of her beloved mother came as a profound shock and led her to question the deeper meaning of life. She began to doubt theological and ecclesiastical doctrines, which gradually inspired a deep inner reflection on all aspects of life and a stronger faith in God. Through many hours of inner devotion and prayer, she became increasingly aware of the spiritual knowledge resting within her soul. Then, in 1975, what we call the prophetic word broke through. Her spiritual teacher, Brother Emmanuel, the cherub of the divine wisdom and the absolute reality, began preparing her through daily revelations for her difficult and challenging task as the teaching prophetess and emissary of light for our time. These revelations were followed by messages from Christ, the Spirit of the Eternal, and other spiritual beings from the highest seven-dimensional absolute reality, our true home. It was revealed to her that the preparation for this great task had taken place over several difficult past incarnations. She was also warned that her path would not be easy, as the institutional churches would attack, disparage and slander her. Yet Gabriele accepted the responsibility of this worldwide mission and began sharing the divine revelations publicly, first within a small circle of friends, and soon afterwards in larger halls and auditoriums filled with thousands of people throughout German-speaking countries. Often the large rented venues could not accommodate everyone who wished to attend. Public events followed in other European cities and eventually overseas, including a visit to the United States and Canada in 1983. That was the first time I met Gabriele in person. Having had the privilege of traveling with her through the United States as an occasional translator, I was deeply touched by her modesty, humility, devotion, grace, simplicity and warmth. Gabi never sought attention for herself. She saw herself only as an instrument of the divine, a woman in service of the selfless impersonal love. By now you may have wondered why you haven't seen any photographs of her. Gabi always insisted on being simply a sister among brothers and sisters. For this reason, she rejected any form of personality cult and asked that no photographs of her be published. It was important to her that people focus on the message, not the messenger. However, she did give permission for this drawing of her that we find in her biography. It was shortly after Gabi's visit to America that I moved to Germany for several years, where I attended countless seminars and spiritual teachings given directly by Gabriele. During this time, I witnessed many people coming from around the world to live and work together and started numerous enterprises based on the divine laws, the teachings of the Sermon on the Mount, and the 5 principles: equality, freedom, unity, brotherliness and sisterliness, and justice. These enterprises included restaurants, cafes, guest houses, food producers, tailoring businesses, various retail shops, an entire shopping center, social service providers, homes for the elderly, and much more. It even included a Christ clinic, which was based on innovative healing approaches revealed through Gabriele from the spiritual realms, approaches that we can also find in several of her books on healing. Gabriele also founded a Christ school and kindergarten, which today enjoy the highest reputation. In her Liobani book series, parents and children can find profound spiritual guidance and inspiring stories. I saw how a number of agriculture enterprises were also established, including farms growing grains, fruits, and herbs, as well as subsidiary businesses dedicated to working in harmony with nature and the divine laws. Out of a deep love for animals and nature, Gabriele designed the Land of Peace, the International Gabriele Sophia Foundation, where she created a huge flourishing sanctuary for nature and animals, offering peace-loving people a place for inner contemplation amidst the fullness of life in nature. It became the largest private connective biotope in Central Europe and also includes a huge animal rescue and rehabilitation station, because Gabi always insisted that all animals are our little brothers and sisters. As a designer, Gabriele was endlessly creative and laid the groundwork for beautiful homes within park-like residential areas. Here is a book about her work. It presents the harmonious, primarily rounded architectural forms with bow fronts, small towers, and imaginative floor plans, whose designs were inspired by nature and received by Gabriele through inner visions from the seven-dimensional absolute reality. She then translated these visions into the possibilities of our three-dimensional world. In all her designs, Gabriele sought beauty and harmony. Her remarkable creativity also extended to clothing and interior design. She believed that every child of God should live not in poverty, but in a beautiful and uplifting environment, because the outer shapes the inner, just as the inner shapes the outer. Here, in the Kingdom of Peace, people gather today for festive meals and concerts performed by their own Centric Music Orchestra. But her life was not easy. As predicted, Gabriele was fiercely persecuted, mocked, and discriminated against by church institutions. They felt deeply threatened by her teachings that God dwells within every human being, not in churches and temples, and that no priests, teachers, dogmas, rituals, or memberships are needed to connect with the divine within. Over many generations, Gabriele, Sophia the divine wisdom, came to earth in female form to bring humanity the wisdom of God, the primary light of being, through spoken and written revelations of a depth and detail never before given. For almost 50 years, she has given us detailed descriptions of creation, the ever-expanding and evolving universes, the dramatic fall of the spiritual beings into the material worlds, and their path of liberation and return to divinity. She also spoke about the coming drastic earth changes, the eventual end of the material world, the rise of the Kingdom of Peace, and so much more. All of her prophecies, meditations, writings, recordings, and books are preserved in the vast Sophia Library in Germany and are available in many languages at the Gabriele Publishing House. Gabriele left this world in 2024, but her worldwide work continues to grow. She taught people to follow Jesus of Nazareth in order to build a people of the Spirit founded on higher ethics and principles. Today, these revelations and the Kingdom of Peace attract more and more people from all over the world. Her messages and teachings of the free spirit are transmitted through numerous radio and television stations, while people around the world gather in free communities to study the inner path to freedom. This was my personal take on Gabriele and her teaching. Why do I feel so drawn to this particular teachings? Because it works for me. Unlike a church or a cult or a sect, her teachings are the teachings of total freedom. There is nothing to join, there is no membership, there is no hierarchy, there are no priests, no teachers, no dogmas, no rituals, and no traditions. It's just the inner path, the path within, simply divinity and me. If you want to know more about Gabriele's exciting and engrossing teachings, you may want to watch any of my videos in the Life Explained series, which focus on various aspects of her revelations, like karma, reincarnation, what happens after death, and much more. In these videos, I share my own spiritual discoveries on this inner path, not as a teacher, but as a fellow student. And I have no need to convince anybody. If this material works for you, great, and if it doesn't work for you, also great. Only your heart knows whether this material is right for you at this present time. For anybody who wants to know more about the various enterprises that I've mentioned in this video, I'm going to put links beneath this video. Please don't forget to rate this video, and if you wish, subscribe, and I see you in my next one.